Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and welcome to The Last Lap. In today's video we're going to be talking about some news that came out for this week, and we're also going to be giving our thoughts and predictions for this week at Bristol Dirt. The Truck and Cup Series will be racing there, so we'll tell you everything you need to know about that. But before we hop into it, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button and that like button, also that little notification bell that'll let you know as soon as we upload a video, because this week we're having 3 videos go up. We had our Martinsville review, we had our Martinsville vlog on Wednesday go up, and then we're having our Bristol Dirt preview coming out today, so make sure you guys hit that notification bell to let you know when we're uploading. And as always, I have my friend and co-host Matthew joining me on the show, and I think I'm still recovering a little bit from Martinsville. I might still have some, hypothermia I'm dealing with because it was very cold at Martinsville, but thankfully back here in Virginia Beach it is nice and warm this week. So Matthew has a feel to be out of Martinsville and heading into another very interesting track on the circuit in Bristol Dirt.
Well, it's also been nice and warm down out here and around here. So yeah, good to have the warm weather back after freezing my butt off last weekend at Martinsville, and a chaotic but somehow tame races that we had this weekend. So it's good to be back in warm weather. And by the way, before we get things started, I want to talk about how Jimmy right here has got himself a brand new whip in the driveway now. What's the car you got?
Yeah, I got the brand new 2022 Toyota Camry TRD. I guess I'll put some pictures in the video since you are, he kind of threw me out there and told everybody about it. So I guess I'll go ahead and throw some pictures in there for everybody. It's a really cool car. Yeah. I love it so far. I got it with 5 miles on it, and it has like 50 on it now. So I've driven it a little bit around, but yeah, you can go ahead and tell everybody that your quote unquote plan that you want to do to surprise me for like Christmas or whatever. You can go ahead and tell everybody what you want to do.
So, since you're officially on the Toyota bandwagon now, I want to give you this Toyota shirt to go with it. It's got TRD on the back right here. It's perfect right here. It's going to fit well with your new ride. And welcome to the Toyota family. So, we're glad you're joining on the right side of the manufacturer NASCAR. Good job. And I'm going to make sure I put a number 18 on your door as well, because that's going to fit perfect right there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it started.
If you're gonna put an 18 on it, you might as well do the whole interstate batteries wrap on the car too. You can't just put an 18 on it. You gotta wrap the whole thing. So whenever you get the money for that, let me know and you could do it. But I don't think I'll be expecting that anytime soon. But yeah, it's a great car so far. I love it. It's really sporty looking, performs well, looks good. So very excited to have that and put some miles on it. And unfortunately we didn't have it in time to go to Martinsville, but there's a ton of other opportunities I'll be able to drive it far places. So very cool to get that. But yeah, let's hop into some news. I'll save a little bit of stuff for Bristol Dirt towards the end. But to start off, there are a few Cup drivers racing in the Truck Series this weekend at Bristol Dirt. So Spire announced that Chase Elliott is now going to be driving the number 7 truck this weekend. We've seen Alex Bowman driving it, William Byron driving it, now Chase Elliott. It'll be his turn to drive it at Bristol Dirt. Harrison Burton is going to be driving the number 17 truck. I thought that was personally going to be Kevin Harvick because it was like Hunt Brothers Pizza themed, and that's usually Kevin Harvick's sponsor that he races in trucks, but it'll be Harrison Burton actually. Austin Dillon will be in the number 20 truck, and Joey Logano will be in the number 54 truck. So that's all the names off the top of my head. Well, that I have written down. I think that's it. I don't think there's anybody else doing it in the Truck Series from the Cup drivers, but there's that. Ty Gibbs was fined $15,000, not for punching Sam Mayer in the face and giving him a black eye, but he was fined $15,000 for, it's like, I don't remember the specific name of the penalty, but
apparently it's for hitting Sam Mayer's car on pit road.
Yeah, it was pretty much like
it wasn't even for the fight or even when he hit Sam Mayer on the cool down. Like, it was for making contact on pit road, which I don't recall seeing that part.
Yeah, it was just like I guess it was just because when they followed each other down pit road, Ty Gibbs rammed into the back of his car so hard that the cars literally got stuck together, and that's why they were. I was wondering why there were crew members like looking at the cars after the race because we didn't know what was going on, but apparently they were trying to pull the cars apart because they were pretty much locked together after Ty Gibbs rammed into the back of Sam Mayer on pit road. So apparently that's what the fine is for, not even for the fight or anything like that. So yeah, that happened. Sheldon Creed lost his crew chief, car chief, and engineer for 4 races after something happened in practice. A part of the car fell off or something that NASCAR didn't like. So NASCAR ended up suspending those crew members for 4 races. More Xfinity Series news. We got a lot of that today. Chandler Smith is actually going to be racing in the 26 Toyota Xfinity car at Talladega, Dover, and Homestead. So that's exciting to see. That 26 car seems promising when you put the right drivers in it. So that'll be exciting to see if Chandler Smith will be able to get a good run out of that car. I don't expect to win, but I think he could easily run top 5 because John Hunter Nemechek, he ran top 5, top 10 in that car last year. So I think Chandler Smith could get a pretty good run in that 26 car, hopefully, in one of those 3 races. And we'll talk more about like the modifications for the cars for the Cup Series for Bristol Dirt in just a second. But Matthew, what do you have to say about some of that news that's come out this week?
As for the truck series, as for the Cup guys in the truck series, I'm not going to be shocked if any of those drivers win. I can't pick on which one will win because there's some good names there. I just know if one of them, if they win, I just know one of those truck drivers that do win, they're going to celebrate like they won a championship. So I won't be shocked, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe a regular truck driver might win. So we'll see how it goes, and yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting race. For the Ty Gibbs fine, he's not going. It wasn't shocking that Ty Gibbs got fined for what happened, but what actually surprised me was what he got fined for. I thought it was gonna be like for leaving his helmet on while he was being the you know what out of Sam Mayer. Or when on the cool down lap when he basically went full force into the rear end of Sam Mayer's car, but no, it was for contact on pit road, which I from being at the race I don't recall seeing a lot of contact on pit road, but I guess they saw that part. So yeah, Ty Gibbs deserved the fine, but it actually surprised me for what the fine was. I thought it was going to be for any other things I just said, but yeah, he deserved that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, but Chandler Smith having 3 Xfinity races. I think that's what you said. That's gonna be great for him. He obviously does have talent, as he's already won 3 races, and so far during his second season of the Truck Series for Kyle Busch Motorsports, 2 last year and his rookie year, already won this year. I think he's going to do great with this opportunity. That 26 car is good, but they just don't know. They just don't know who to put in that car that's actually good. Because when they put John or Nemechek in there, that car's in the lead or top 5 most of the time. They put someone that we don't even know. They're like almost dead last. So they just gotta know who to put in their car, because clearly that's the only thing they're bad at. So yeah, I can't wait to see how Chandler Smith does. But yeah, let's move on to Bristol Dirt now.
Alright, so we're going to hop into, I guess we'll kind of combine this segment with our picks and predictions for this week, but some modifications to the next-gen car for this week at Bristol Dirt. First of all, it was already announced that they were going to take the diffuser out from underneath of the car, which I think is a very good move, because we've seen like at Daytona, we can see it bouncing up and down a little bit, and especially Auto Club with how bumpy that track is. So I think that's a good move for them to not have the diffuser on there for Bristol Dirt. I don't think it'll matter much anyways, because let's face it, aerodynamics really isn't going to mean too much this week at Bristol Dirt. So I think that's a good move. They have mud flaps behind the rear tires now, which is interesting. They didn't have that last year. I think that'll I hope it makes a difference. last year was crazy. Like the tires were actually wearing a lot. They had the square pattern, and they would show pictures of them during the race, and they were worn completely down. So that'll be interesting if Goodyear also brought a different tire to prevent them from wearing that much. There's mud screens on the window, the little part, the hole in the window where the air goes through. There's like a screen right there to prevent dirt from flying into the car. There's a plate on the grill to prevent mud from going into the engine and all that kind of stuff. So lots of modifications to this car. Hopefully that there's just some good adjustments that NASCAR made, so we don't have too many issues on the track, hopefully, this week at Bristol Dirt. I'm actually going to do something new, too. I'm going to save my favorite paint scheme for this week. I'm looking at the paint scheme preview right now. I might be a little biased here, but Chase Elliott...
There we go.
Chase Elliott is running a... Oh, actually, no, I'm going to say...
Can you not
hold
be
on.
biased?
I'm going to say this one. Hold on. I won't be biased. Okay.
Thank you.
Bubba Wallace is driving the number 23 Columbia Sportswear Company Toyota, and it's a wild-looking car. It's got some pink on it.
I thought that was a throwback scheme for Darlington.
No, he's racing that this week. It's right here on the NASCAR website. So it's like pink, green, yellow.
I thought it was a throwback scheme for Darlington.
Very bright colors. I really like it. I'll put it in the video for you guys to see it, but yeah, I think as I'm looking through, I think that's my favorite one that I can see off the top of my very quickly here. So I'll say that's my favorite paint scheme for this week, and I'll give a few drivers to look out for. I'll try not to take all of the good ones because I know that there's a lot of good options for this week. So I'll take a Chevy driver. Obviously, you have to watch Kyle Larson. He is very well known for racing dirt cars, and he is one of the drivers that put a lot of effort Bristol went to him and a few other dirt racers for a lot of advice on how to fix the track, which also they made adjustment to the track for it to be more of a sloping adjustment, so it's more banked. It's not just a steep wall of dirt pretty much, so hopefully that provides some better racing too. But yeah, Kyle Larson, easily one to watch. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is also one to watch. I'm not going to say the other driver because I'll let you say him, but those are two quick ones I can say off the top of my head that are very good to watch. Joey Logano as well. He won there last year, so you can't really count him out either. So those are three quick drivers I have for this week for you guys to keep an eye on. But for my fantasy lineup, I'm going to have to watch practice and qualifying and the heat races and all that kind of stuff to have any kind of idea of who to run this week, because it's just as unpredictable as last year. So Matthew, what do you have to say about some of these new changes that they added to the next-gen car, the way that they not paved the track, but put the dirt on the track, if you have a favorite paint scheme this week, and maybe some drivers to look out for this week? I know it's a lot, but go ahead and tell me your thoughts for the Cup Series going into Bristol this week.
Well, this weekend we're back at Bristol Dirt for the second time ever, and I cannot wait for this race. Cannot wait for it this year. I thought last year's race was really good, and I knew there was some stuff that could be improved, but it seems like they've done improvements. They've made adjustments to the car themselves. Despite being a brand new car than they raced last year, they still made adjustments. They adjusted the track a little bit to make sure they have a little more banking. So I think we're going to see a way better race than we did last year. That's my guess. And then my favorite paint scheme for this weekend has to be Ty Dillon's paint scheme. Of course, Eric Jones looks great as ever. We saw that one last year. This one's a totally new paint scheme of a cleaning product, and I look so cool. So with the bright green and the orange, man, I love that paint scheme. I still love the GoPro cars though; those are my favorite paint scheme. But this paint scheme's up there, so I don't know how it'll be up front, but hopefully we see it more during Sunday's coverage. But as for my predictions, I got to go with Christopher Bell, who has a lot of dirt experience, just like Kyle Larson. We'll see how he does, because they predicted Larson and Bell winning last year, and they took each other out like early on in the race at the same wreck. So we'll see if he actually survives this time. Another guy, I'm going to pick Martin Truex Jr. because last year He won the truck race on Bristol Dirt, and he led a lot of laps in the Cup race, despite not being really a big dirt racer. So I gotta look out for Truex. And then I'm gonna look at the Suarez, because he didn't have a lot of dirt experience either, but he basically shocked everyone last year, bringing the new Trackhouse team to the lead and led a lot of laps last year. So I'm going to keep my eye on Suarez too.
Yeah, those are some very solid picks. Before we head out, so this can kind of be in your concluding thoughts before we wrap up, but I want to hear your opinion on what Kyle Busch said earlier this week, because he said he was asked whether Bristol Dirt is like good for NASCAR, bad for NASCAR. He said, he quoted Richard Petty, who said that Bristol Dirt is taking NASCAR backwards, and Kyle Busch agreed to that. So I want to hear what you say about that real quick. And really quick for me, I think one dirt race a year is good. I think depending on how this week goes at Bristol Dirt, if it is a really good race, I'll say keep it at Bristol. If it's average or okay, I'm going to say bring back the normal Bristol Oval and move to an actual dirt track like Eldora or something like that. But we'll have to see. I'll give you guys an update in our review video about that. But I think dirt is good for NASCAR for one race. I don't think we need anything more than that. But yeah, that's what I have to say about it. Matthew, what do you have to say about that, and any other closing thoughts before we go ahead and end the episode?
Alright, this is something that has really driven me crazy this whole week. Not just from the drivers, but these fans. They all been acting like a bunch of toddlers this week, crying so much about, oh my goodness, they shouldn't have taken that Bristol date away basically for a fake dirt track. They shouldn't have put dirt on the track. It's going backwards on time. Like, oh my goodness, I can't take all the crying, man. Like, man, it's flooding. All those tears have been flooding Daytona, basically. Like, goodness gracious. Look, they needed to do this, and I agree that they needed to put dirt on Bristol. And here's the reason why. If you watch Bristol from the last 5 or 6 years before the inaugural Bristol Dirt race, no one was showing up to those races. The biggest example of this was 2019. If Jimmy, you might want to put a picture of the 2019 spring race. They had a hard time filling up the front stretch grandstands. Like, the turns were empty. I mean, no one was showing up. And for everyone that says they shouldn't have taken basically a Bristol date away, it's like the best track. Even though I think Martinsville is the best track, but probably not a good time to say that after the absolute dud that we got last weekend. But besides the point. Look, if you think Bristol is one of the best tracks, go to the race. All those people that kept saying that apparently didn't show up to those spring races. They only showed up to the playoff race, basically. No one was showing up to the spring race. How come? I mean, I know people are going to say, oh, the weather is always so bad. Yes, that's true, but hey, Daytona 500, there's been, especially the past few years, there's been raining there almost every year besides this year. And guess what? It's always still a sold-out crowd because it's the Daytona 500. If you're that passionate about Bristol, then go to it, even if it's going to rain or not. So that's on you right there. So the racing hasn't changed, besides the Gen 6 cars, maybe making it a little bit worse. But I mean, the racing hasn't changed. I mean, we still get memorable moments from those races, but no one shows up because, and it's those same people typing on their keyboard saying, "Oh, they shouldn't taken away at Bristol Day." Blah blah blah. That's your fault right there. You should have shown up the races, and if you're that passionate about Bristol, should have gone to it. But that's on you. So yeah, they need to stop whining about it. They need to stop crying about it. Deal with it. And probably these drivers are mad because they gotta actually work hard on these races now, instead of being laid back like they did in Martinsville when they barely did anything. They just rode around for like 400 laps. Now they're salty about putting more work in for like 200 laps, I think, for this race. So they gotta stop whining as well. So I'm just done. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm just done hearing all that crying here. Basically, all those tears basically filling up Daytona.
You can thank me for setting you up for that rant. I gave you the underhanded pitch, and you just hit it out of the park. So you're welcome for.
As Jimmy Spencer once said, you might as well give him the crying towel right here, because they've been crying too much, both from drivers and fans. Too much crying.
And there you go. Well, I'll say I gave you the lob for the alley-oop, and you just went up and grabbed it and slammed it down. So you're welcome for the assist. I'll take the assist on that one. But yeah, I mean, you have good points. You know, bringing dirt to Bristol definitely brings more attraction to fans.
I mean, people showed up to the Bristol Dirt race last year, even during COVID protocols. They couldn't fill it up because of COVID, and guess what? They filled up all the seats they were allowed to because they did something different. See? It's not that hard. It's not that hard to realize why.
Yeah, and I believe it was sold out too for whatever capacity they did have. I believe it was sold out, and like when they announced,
if that was the regular Bristol race in the spring, not even close. Not even close.
And like when they announced during the race that they were gonna come back, fans in the grandstands were cheering really loud. Like I think I saw Kurt Busch say that he could hear them from his car when they were cheering. I'm pretty sure it was under a caution, but still, he said that he heard the crowd erupt when they said they were going to come back next year. So it definitely.
See, here's the thing. There's a difference between the fans that go to the track and then those lazy bums that sit on their keyboard all day long. There's a difference. I forgot to say one more thing, though. There's a big announcement coming on Saturday before the truck race and the heat races. One's going to be about NASCAR and Canada together, which is just big. It could be it could be a Cup race at maybe Montreal, which Xfinity used to race, or Canadian Tire, like trucks used to race, or it could be truck or Xfinity going to any of those tracks. Who knows? But that's something big to look at. And then there's a Speedway Motorsports, or SMI, announcement right after. And this is a big one because apparently North Wilkesboro is part of the announcement. North Wilkesboro on Twitter already said that it's confirmed that there are party announcement, but not going to go into details of what it's about, which has gotten everyone excited. I'm excited about it. And North Wilkesboro tweeted a picture today of a teaser of North Wilkesboro, but they photoshopped a next-gen Camry Cup car on the track. Who knows? Could it be Cup coming back? But I think it's going to be truck or maybe Xfinity going there. Once the renovation's done, of course, which will be a couple of years.
Yeah, those are both going to be some exciting announcements this weekend at the track from Bristol. The first one obviously being about NASCAR and their potential to return to Canada, and then the other one revolving around North Wilkesboro Speedway. Those announcements will be very exciting. We'll have updates for those more than likely on our social media pages as soon as those come out, because those are very big announcements for the sport of NASCAR. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, Bristol Dirt is going to be a very fun weekend. We're going to have a lot of cars and trucks on track this weekend. Busy weekend with practice, qualifying, the heat races, the actual races, everything. So make sure you guys stay tuned throughout the weekend. Let us know who you think has a chance to win this week on the dirt in Bristol in the trucks or the Cup Series. But until next time, we'll see you guys in our next video.